Hello, welcome to Absolute Idaho channel. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your views, support. This is a conclusion of the knee mill project. I went down and picked up that knee mill from, if you remember from the first video, down in Tigard, Oregon, Portland area. And forgot my camera, as I said in the last video, when I was going to unload and show you guys what I had. And anyway, you did see it. You saw my trailer, which I meant to do a video on by itself, but just never has happened. Just too busy. Got too many things going on. But anyway, I was going to show you today what I did some cleanup on the mill, obviously, and I told you it was going to become gray and orange, basically to match like my trailer. Those are my favorite colors. I scrubbed on it for a good day. It was pretty bad. Hasn't been cleaned in a while, but I'm happy with it. I think it turned out pretty good. I cleaned it all up, and it was gray. I didn't realize that, honestly. I knew it was going to be green or something, but it was actually gray underneath. Not a pretty paint job, but it's actually kind of cool because it's old, and I love old, so some people try to get a paint job to look like that, and I just took the grease off, and that's how it looks. Painted the handles orange, which you'll see. And then I also wanted to show you the some of the tooling I got, and like I said, a lot of the tooling, well, quite a bit of it I can use, but there's going to be quite a bit of it I'm not going to be able to use, not for this mill. But I keep stuff, and eventually I come around and keep tools, and eventually I have a piece of machinery to use it on. Seems to happen a lot to me. But anyway, I just wanted to show you what I got. It's kind of a little treasure trove, but some of it is usable to me, some of it is not, but it's still worth money, worth something to somebody. And I'm just I'll show you real quick. So this is actually the well, I got this cabinet actually, but that came with the knee mill, and all the anchor blocks and just various assortment of T-bolts and nuts, and actually some of it's so big I won't even be able to use that. I was kind of shocked. The T slots on my X table for the knee mill are a little bit smaller than I was planning on them, but I guess it kind of goes with the times. It does only have a half-horse three-phase motor on it, so it's not made for really big stuff. But a bunch of different cutters, and they're just all over the place. I mean, obviously I'll be able to use quite a few of the smaller ones. Some of the bigger stuff I'm not going to be able to use now, but later I will. But you know, 4 fluted, and 2 and 3, and all kinds, and all different size shanks too, all the way up to well, I got some really big ones. I'll show you those, but like that's a 1-inch shank, but I got some bigger than that even. These ones I haven't even opened. They're in there, you know, end mill stuff. I just haven't actually opened them because I just haven't. I will. Pilot bits, a whole bag of them, all different sizes. Some Starrett stuff. This isn't actually Starrett. I can't remember who makes this, but this actually is. Been wanting one of those gauges for quite a while. Boring bars, pretty much the whole gamut up to 1/2 inch on numbered drill bits. And I got collets to actually go with them, so I'll be able to use those. Just tool holders, flexible tool holders, that sort of thing. Boring bar. I don't know, just crazy stuff. And then this was kind of a shocker to me, but pretty much all these National twist drill cutters they're brand new. They've never been used. This one has been, I believe. This one has not been used. It just didn't have a box. But if you start looking at some of it, yeah, little cutters like this, and I can use this on that end mill all day long, or that knee mill all day long. So that's going to be fun to use. Just just looking at that convex cutter. And I got some big ones of this. I'll show you the next one I got that's actually a little larger than that one. It might be a little tougher to use. I'm not sure if I'll be able to or not, but I've got this one. It's a 1-inch ID for that, and I'll just make a bar that'll fit right in my collet, and you can really chew through some metal. I mean, I feel like a woodworker only in the metal field, so pretty happy about that. And this is pretty cool. I got quite a few of these too. This is actually a convex cutter, but it's actually or a mill cutter, but it's actually like an ogie, if you will, I believe is what they would call that in the woodworking industry. So that's actually going to cut a profile into, you know, steel, aluminum, whatever. It's pretty cool. It's actually mean, it's all brand new. I got 3 of these, all different sizes. A bunch of small ones too. There's a bunch of small ones in here. And all these are different bits. Are just, you know, crazy sharp and haven't ever been used before. So that was kind of a fun find. You know, it's kind of like a little treasure trove, like I said. So can't remember what's actually in. Like I said, some of these haven't actually even been opened, but trying to do this with one hand. Sorry about that. Hopefully the camera's not shaking too bad. Oh, that's right. These are actually the angular cutters, and you get them in different degrees. I think I got 60 degrees, 90 degrees. I even got some that you could cut like dovetails, that sort of thing with. I even got one of those back here. Yeah, there's a dovetail cutter right there. I can use that thing all day long. You know, reaming bars. It's just crazy the stuff that's actually here. Well, you know, I got a bastard file and just a round file. I like those because they were good sized, and you actually have this, you know, slitting cutter goes to that. But see, that shank on that's pretty good size, so it doesn't actually go to this machine. But I can cut that down and, you know, make it work for my machine, because it's not actually going to be, you know, cutting into a lot of material, as long as you don't sink it too deep or whatever, and you can still use that. Then there's all those cutters in the back that you see, and they're all virtually brand new, so they're sharp as all get out too. But this is stuff I'm not probably going to use on this. This bill is just a little too small for all of this. I mean, that's a good size cutter. Probably better with a horizontal or maybe even a lathe. So but, you know, I know there are, you know, Bridgeports out there and other brands that would cut that all day long and not even have a problem with it. But like I said, I got some stuff I won't be able to use. That's probably some of it. All of these anchor blocks, these are just aluminum. All American made stuff too. I mean, that's been the best part too. It's just, there's virtually no Chinese stuff here. There's a few things from Japan, but mostly all American. These are made in England, I believe. I think they were by Eclipse. Yeah, these are actually made in England, both sets. This is all American made stuff here, even says right on it. Not light. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, these are made in Japan, that's right. I knew this had some stuff from Japan. This is all American. This is from Japan. These are 1, 2, 3 blocks. They never been used. I actually took the packaging off of them and used them. This is all American made stuff. Drawbars American made. This is actually the collet style that fits in that knee mill real well. You know, it's just a tapered Morse shank and has a drawbar from the top like normal. But this will probably get me through pretty much everything I want to do. I mean, I could even make a couple of these on my lathe if I wanted to, and you know, if I need to increase the size or make smaller ones, whatever. And this doesn't go to anything. I think this actually goes to well, either one, a larger knee mill or drill, or even possibly a lathe. It's a good sized T-nut on it though. I mean, that's not your average. That's industrial size right there. So then we got these. These are my parallel bars. Had a guy when I was loaded up ask me if I got all that carbide steel, and I'm like, well, they're parallels, but sure, yeah, they're pretty good too. It's all American made for the most part. Brown and Sharp is a couple of them, and I can't remember. Taft and Pierce. It's either one or the other. There's nothing else. None of this is Chinese. It's all good stuff. So, in all different sizes, which is going to be pretty awesome. Here's the actual. This is the actual vise I'm going to use. I had to clean it up. It was pretty dirty, but it's a speed vise, so you know, you just get it close and lock it in or whatever. American made. Little baby one, same brand. Speed vise is what it is. I haven't put it on the knee mill yet. I'm actually going to paint this orange to match the knee mill, and you know, take it to my liking or whatever. But and of course I got some of those bits down there. They're just Morse taper bits. I believe they're number 2. That's just some of the stuff I got. You see my 90-degree, you know, blocks and stuff. I got quite a bit of stuff. Well, here, that is what it looked like after the cleaning, and you can tell I've painted the handles orange, which is, you know, I just like that color scheme. It's always been my favorite color scheme. That is the natural paint on it. I believe that's even factory paint. If you remember, these actually used to be red. It said Gulk, and it was in red. I painted those orange. The handles themselves, I actually have painted them up, cleaned up the dials, cleaned all this up because it was just covered. I haven't done a whole lot to the head above here too much as far as cleaning goes. I wiped it down, but I need to take this actually off and, you know, clean it up good. And again, though, does it really matter? Probably not. I mean, it just probably doesn't matter. So I don't know if I'll do it or not. It's really tight, though. I mean, it's really smooth. It's really tight. The knee itself is really nice. I mean, it's not really hardly any slop in it at all. It's really tight. The X and Y tables, they're really good. I mean, I've used it already. It actually works pretty good. I also got this little vise here, came with it. It's actually made in Poland, so I guess there's one tool that wasn't American made. It works good though. I mean, it's pretty decent, holds nice and tight. And I had to go through and grease everything up, and it was actually greased pretty well. But I do know when I was running for about an hour or so, I kind of heard a knocking noise in the upper section up here, and this pulley here actually has a matter of fact, that's it right there. That's actually for a set screw. It goes in and actually tightens down on a shaft key, and it had come loose, so it was making kind of a ticking noise when it would spin around, and I could tell it's because it was loose. It was actually floating on there, so I took that all apart and cleaned it up because it had grease in places it probably shouldn't have had grease, and didn't have grease in places it should have. So fixed that all up, and it has a little bit of a, not a knock, but once it starts, because there's a little bit of play in there, which is normal. It's kind of the breakaway, but it's pretty quiet. I'll show you that. This is how the back side, or the side of it, turned out, and I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Hammer. That was actually the very first thing I did on this. I've had that. I turned that hammer head on my lathe out of brass. Gosh, 2 years ago. And I was going to drill through it and do basically what you see there, which is the handle for the hammer. And my drill couldn't drill through it because, you know, brass is pretty difficult to drill through without having a decent enough motor. But this is a half-horse 3-phase, and it drilled through it without any problems. Granted, it was a pretty good, nice, sharp, fluted cutter, which helped a lot. But is it pretty? No. Does it need to be? No. Is it going to work? Heck yeah. It's going to be awesome. I needed one, and this is what I need it for. I needed to actually drop that, you know, take the drop the bar down and actually remove stuff, and, you know, just tap stuff into place. It's going to be pretty awesome to have. I'm glad I got it. And as far as placement goes, I don't know if I'm going to leave it here, but I looked around my shop, and I was actually going to put it against that wall over there, but I just got to thinking, I mean, if I have a long part, or, you know, I'm trying to twist this handle or whatever, it's kind of tight right there. My shop's getting too small. I need to build a new one. I just thought maybe I'll just put it out here. I used to have something mounted right here, and I always thought it was in the way, actually. It's actually that bender there with the yellow handles. And I had some stuff behind it, but it was always kind of a narrow passage right here. And when I'm pushing my electric hydraulic pallet lifter, it's always in the way. You have to be really careful what you do. And so I actually moved it back, gained some room right here, and I think this is actually a pretty good place. It still gives me plenty of room in the shop to maneuver, and there's no encumbrances around it for the most part. So I could still use the roll bender that's in the back and feed material through there and stand back behind this machine because there's actually enough room or whatever. But I don't do that often, but when you do it, you have to do it. So I had to leave myself some space. But this isn't permanently mounted to the floor, so I can move it. It's really not that big a deal to move. I'm actually pretty good at it now. So yeah, let's maybe we'll just, well, I guess I could show you too. I actually hardwired it in, you know, for now, just because I didn't, this is all new. I took the old cord that was on it, took it off, and ran new wire, new flexible conduit back to my phase converter, which is actually back here. Excuse the mess. That's my American rotary phase converter. No, I'm not endorsing them, but they are good. It is a good, it's probably, you know, the best one I've ever owned. Really quiet too. I mean, it's just really quiet. But this actually feeds my hydraulic roll bender too. Feeds both machines now. So that's the flex coming up, and it being fed by that. So it actually is pretty quiet. I'll just show you what it sounds like when I turn it on. So that's the noise it makes for just the phase converter. Pretty quiet. And then over here, it actually has, let's see, in the on position already. I think everything's out of the way. I should probably check. Yeah. So that's the noise it makes. Not too bad. I mean, it's just, you can hear a little bit of a hum from the phase converter, but it'll stop that once it's been on for a little bit. It's a little bearing hum. But pretty good. It's just, you know, pretty simple little mill. Like I said, it's reversible direction, so makes no noise. I mean, it's pretty smooth. The belt's nice and true. Pulleys stay where they're supposed to. I think it's going to be a good addition to the shop. So let me go ahead and get something clamped up in that vise, and I'll even put you guys on the tripods here, not throwing up on me, and we'll see if we can't just cut some simple things like aluminum, just to show you, because it's a cutter. If you want to see some cutting, there's thousands of videos out there, you know that. But I'll at least show you how this one cuts, and we'll go from there. So let's just see if we can cut some aluminum. I grabbed some of that, and I'll put this light up here, maybe you can see better. Just a simple cut. I think I have it set on the highest speed, and that is a negative of having some older equipment, as you're subject to whatever speeds they had at the time. It's not like a nice DC motor where you can VFD it and, you know, actually tune in your own speed. But I've got it set, I think, at 1200 right now, which is actually probably a little bit low for what we're doing, but this is a 5/8 fluted cutter. Excuse my hand. Still new to this, so alright, cutter's in. Bring the X back. And I got a little piece of key stock in there, just for a spacer. Piece of square, well, it might not be square, I don't know, I'm not even sure where this came from, but piece of aluminum. We'll just try squaring it off. Doesn't look squared when it's sitting in that vise, but see that? I use my hammer. I think that's pretty good. Let's well, I might let's do some small cuts just to see how she does. Maybe I'll go the other direction though so you can see it better. Hopefully the chips don't hit you in the face or me. I got my safety glasses on though, so I'm protected. And that's about it's part of a steep cut. Maybe I'll do, it looks like about 3/16 or so. Let's see what that does. That's about a half of an inch or so cut. shelf there, but it could be that this isn't on there square, you know, flat on the bottom. Cut itself is pretty good, especially that pass. This one's a little got a little more groove in it, but you know, it's one of those things. It's going to be a learning curve on all of it, especially even for the fact that it's a new mill to me, and I'm new at doing this sort of thing. So I'll just keep playing with it, and I don't know. I think it's going to be a fun addition to the shop. So hope you guys liked what you saw, and you know, I know it's not the best video out there or whatever, but hopefully it was somewhat entertaining. And please visit my channel for future things. I'm always doing stuff, so I'm actually probably going to cut some parts out with this. It'll be the first thing I do. I got to make some parts for my probably saw one of my other videos about my little Giant. One of the reasons I bought this is because I could have bought all of the parts I need for the most part for about $1,200. Could have done that pretty easily, and I still have to buy a few of the parts, like the anvils for the little hammer. It needs new ones, that sort of thing. The dies, they're about $400, but I saved myself about, you know, $800 by not buying the stuff from them and actually cutting it out myself on this knee mill. And that's kind of my plan, and that paid for it by far. So I probably never told you what I paid for the knee mill, but I got all this stuff, everything you saw, the knee mill, all the cutters, everything on those tables, $650. It was just one of those things that I've been looking for years and years, and I saw it, and first I thought it was too good to be true, but come to find out it was exactly what they said. So I think I'm going to be happy with this machine. I mean, I might eventually turn it into a variable frequency drive and DC motor sort of thing, but and I probably end up doing some sort of CNC on the X and the Y axis. I don't know about the Z. I don't know. We'll see. X and Y, I can do two-dimensional stuff all day long, and that's really kind of suits me because I can do three-dimensional stuff with two-dimension. Just takes a little more doing. So anyway, stay tuned, and I'm sure there's going to be more videos in the future that if you like this sort of thing, I'm sure I'll be doing stuff you like. So appreciate you stopping by my channel, and please like and subscribe to us. We really appreciate that, and trying to grow the channel. So see you in the future. Have a good day.